Yo, welcome back everybody. I hope you guys are doing well as always. So for the past couple weeks, I've been pretty much making nothing but Ken Carson type beats. It would really be cool to get something on his upcoming project. I believe it's called The Experiment. I haven't heard too much about it, but I've just kind of been making like a bunch of different types of beats. And one that I recently just made, I wanted to break down for you guys. So that's what we're gonna be doing in today's video. And really to give you guys just a preview of what it's going to sound like before we jump in, I'm going to go ahead and play a little snippet right now. All right, so to start this beat off, we are at 150 BPM, and I guess we'll break down the loop first, and then I'll get into the drums. So this is like a pretty typical dark Ken type of beat, and the first thing we're starting off with is in Serum, and a lot of these sounds are actually from a new Serum bank that I'm working on. Me and Kersey are dropping a new multi-kit called Colors. It's got a bunch of different kits inside of it: Serum Bank, Phrases, Shaper Box kit. If you guys know Kersey, he makes some crazy Shaper Box presets, and he went crazy on this kit. And so that'll be included. It's got one shots. It's gonna have a bunch of midis and loops as well. So just a super fire kit. I don't know when it's gonna be released yet. We're still working on it. But yeah, this first preset we got is called Stacked, and it's a pluck from the Serum bank. And this is the MIDI that I laid down. Pretty typical, sort of just like super fast, repetitive, plucky sound that you hear in a lot of these Ken beats. On pretty much all of these presets, I don't have anything except for EQs, just because I like to keep the sounds very raw for these kind of beats. I don't like to add reverbs or like delays or stuff like that. So for the second sound, we were using another ARP. This one's also from Serum, and I just layered the first MIDI with this one. And again, I have just only one effect on it, which is an EQ to cut the lows out. So I did actually end up layering that MIDI 4 different times. Those are just the first two. The second one we got is from Xenology, and this is the Karma 2ZZ. It's from the A-Shark Unkwalk Xenology bank. And like I said, it's just the exact same layer. Then we got another Xenology, and this one is the Nilo preset from the Trap Pack Xenology bank, again by A-Shark. And then once again, just layered the same MIDI. That's it for like the main elements. Now we're moving on to kind of like the little accent stuff. So this first one we got is a lead from Serum, and this is the S-Saw preset. This is from the Glacier and Lucrative Oracle Serum bank. Then we got another little kind of accent, again from Serum. This is the Fraud ARP from Sunboy and Craze Soul Serum bank. And I just have these two notes kind of alternating back and forth. My biggest recommendation for these kind of beats or melodies is to find presets that have a lot of cool movement to them, like this ARP and that last Xenology preset I played. Like, you can just play a couple notes and it just does so much more than what the MIDI is actually kind of reflecting. Then we got another little lead here. This is the Mistake preset from A-Shark's Serum is Dead bank. and that just plays twice. And then we added this little kind of brass stab hit. This is the G-Feld stab. I think it's from an A-Shark one-shot kit. I think it's from Evolution maybe, but this is just only hits twice here. Just adds a little impact. Then we got some low-end stuff for the last bit, and this is the Georgia Brass from the Trap Pack Technology Bank, and I'm just adding it to these like low D notes. And then again, to just accent that even more, we have this bass from Serum. This is from Terps and Soda's Profit Serum Bank, and it's the Crunchy preset. So that's the entire melody. Everything together now sounds like this. So very aggressive, very dark melody. And now we can move on to the drums. All right, so for the drums, everything except for one of these sound effects is from my Reservoir Drum Kit. If you guys haven't had a chance to go check that out, I'll leave all the links to all that stuff in the description. It's a really good drum kit, probably my best drum kit I've made so far. So if you guys do want to check it out, feel free. There is also a demo on the website if you guys want just like a couple of the free sounds from the kit. So starting off, we have the Reservoir snare. Then we got this Healer hi-hat. Then we got the Go-To open hat. All right, then we got this dip snare, and this is used as kind of the snare roll for the end of every 8 bars. And then we got this little triangle perk. This just plays every half bar. And then a couple more things. We got this other open hat. This is called the Recharge open hat. And then we got this little accent snare called the Dirt snare. And this just plays once at the end of the 4 bars. All right, and then this last sound effect is not from my Reservoir kit. I actually got this one from Terps and TJ. And then last but not least, we got the 808, and this is the Sing 808. I've been using this for a lot of the Ken beats. It's just like the perfect kind of subby 808, but still has a good punch at the beginning. So this is the pattern I have. It looks very strange, but I'll just play it and then kind of explain everything after. So what's going on here with these notes is to add just a little bit more punch. A little cool trick you can do is to have the 808 glide really fast down at the beginning using these slide notes. So what I do is have the regular 808 notes pitched up an octave and then just add a really short glide note to the beginning of each note, and that just makes it punch super hard. It's basically like adding a attack envelope, but you're just doing it in like one-shot form. And then I also just have some notes here and there pitched up just for a little bit of variation so it doesn't get too boring. But yeah, so all of the drums are gonna sound like this. All right, so then over to the beat arrangement. I usually don't do anything too crazy for these Ken type beats just because you kind of want the bass to be going crazy like the entirety of the song. So I pretty much have the 808 playing throughout the entire thing, only with some minor cuts at like the end of each 16 bars, just to give it like somewhat of a transition. So it's not completely just like ear blaring the entire time. But other than that, I pretty much have all of these sounds playing throughout the entire thing, except for like this last section I just took away, the open hat. Like I said, just for a small amount of variance. All right, so that's gonna do it for this one. Let me know what you guys think of this beat in the comments. Let me know if you guys are excited for Ken's new album. I'm not really too sure when it's supposed to come out, but a lot of the snippets I've heard are sounding pretty good so far, so I'm pretty excited for new Ken music. But yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Follow me on Instagram, join my Discord. I also have a Telegram now if you guys want to join that as well. I know some people don't really use Discord anymore, so I have a Telegram set up for all of my loops and midis and all that stuff too. So everything will be linked in the description below. But yeah, that's it for me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.